No, because I actually made it out of there, Astarion. I'll be more careful next time. I brought you back tonight. I thought the Mind Flayer parasite protects you from the light. I think it prefers you as a pile of ash. So this one, right?
Well, apparently there's a limit. Somewhere between a nice summer's day and the full concentrated power of the sun. Just warn me before you do something stupid. At least then I can get out of the blast radius. Now, shall we go?
Should we go?
Chaos you need to unleash here.
No chaos, just some questions.
Gods. All right. What's on your mind?
So about you biting me.
What more do you want?
By Professor Dunn. Well, so is it French? Oh God, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Ah!
Hello there.
How long does this go for?
Deactivating.
Have you asked the game what it prefers? Oh, here it is, right here.
Lunar Gallery maintenance vent opened.
So just go fast, right? I hear her. Luffy, how dare you? I absolutely... Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God! I absolutely gave you a big old forehead kissy, but since I ate so good on Target last night. Mwah, mwah. Here we go, just for you. Hi, everybody! Who was first today? Spade System was first? Max, what the fudge? Max, what the fudge? Max, thank you so much for contributing to my Nintendo Switch 2 fund. Max, I have a very important question for you. Dog or cat? Oh man, my hands are so swollen today. I'm not gonna wear my rings. Do you guys mind if I just don't wear them? You are so sweet, Max. What the fudge? Surprise me? Oh, okay, bet I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna wear my rings today. I don't feel like it. New day. Mwah. Luffy, not first. New day. Thank you for the raise to rame streak. Luffy, mwah. Cute as a button, mwah. Shabby, mwah. Ren, mwah. Max, mwah. Awesome boy, mwah. Space, mwah. YBC, mwah. Luffy, thank you for the 7th stream streak. What the fudge? Thank you so much. Lapis, mwah. Rootsy, ah! You guys are the forehead kisses. Are we wearing a new lippy? No, it's just I still have the bruise. I still have the bruise on my lip, so my lips look weird. It's the same one. It's not dead yet, but it's getting really close to being the end of the tube, and I'm very sad about it. Ah, bread, mwah, Mama J, mwah. Oh, you know what? I may have put more because I always put chapstick on before I put my lippy on. I usually chapstick, pat, then lipstick. There's a system, all right? There's a system, there's a process. And I didn't pat down. I didn't pat. Yeah. You know me, I'm a slut for chapstick, so I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I'm a slut for chapstick. I have a chapstick no more than 3 feet away from me at every room, area, etc. So, wait, I did your kisses. Barely. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, thank you. I got this from Shein. You know what? Does this still work? Closet? I do. Excellent. Dries the lips out. Oh, yeah. No, it keeps it so moist, Rootsy. Oh, what's up, Beeswax? Beeswax, what's up, gamer? Ah, I'm a Carmex girly. Oh, my God. I used to use Carmex. I stopped because someone told me that they had like a bad ingredient in there, but then I'm just like, I still use chapstick branded chapstick, so it's like, ugh. But I used to use chapstick. Link up here for my phone. Sometimes people say that it views weird, Max. Someone says it views weird on there. Raven, think of 185 stream streak. What the fudge? Holy, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's flex, by the way. Disco Queen, mwah. How are you? Terrible. How are you doing? Usually I'm a good liar and I'll be like, oh man. Oh, I'm great. How are you? No, I'm doing terrible. How are you though? I like the bird. Oh, from Carmex? That word makes me cringe every time I hear it. What, Shein? Wait, moist? Carmex? What's your trigger word? Let me know. I promise I won't say it repeatedly. I'm joking. Oh, JJ. Obsidian. That's the first one that came to mind. I love Carmex so much. I always load up on tins. Oh, do you really? Mira. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissing. Yep, the word is moist. Oh, man. It'd be so terrible if someone just went really close to that microphone. Moist. Moist. I'm trying to desensitize you, Brad. Oh, man. Oh, I had a funeral today, Beeswax, so it's all right. Unless you want to beat up God for taking away my uncle. I've cried so much today. I don't know if I can cry anymore. But Bees, I really appreciate you. You know what? You hear that, JC? I got beeswax. I don't know why you're over there now, but you're over there now. Beat him up for my dad. Yeah, beat up. Someone beat up JC for me, all right? Hi, Billy. If you did that again, unless moist devil. Thank you for the forehead kissy. No, peace. I love and cherish you. You have your udon these nuts. Fucking got him. Man, I don't think you saw that coming. That's what I said to... I'm just joking. May I ask you something about that? What's up? Devil, hope you're doing so good, sweet angel. On my way to... Is it really? That's so funny. I love that. Are you really? I want to see what plans you have for that. Adri, thank you for the forehead kissy. Dead dad jokes keep me going through life. Listen, my dad's alive, so that's all you. Love you, Dad. Bronchitis, no. Have you ever had it before? I think my mom's had bronchitis. It sucks dick. The hundreds of good ones. One bad day. Yeah, right? Yeah, I have a very similar mentality, Brad. It's like, you can't have good days without some bad days. So it's like, I don't mind having bad days. I mean, they suck at the time. But it does put things in perspective. And, yeah, it does help out a little bit. I want to make it, oh, cool. If you have any reference photos, show me. Yeah, you have had it before? Devil. That sucks. Is it something that you, like, get, like, chronically? My dad is goated? He is. Is he in chat right now? Oh, yeah, I did tell him what you said about his tie, by the way. He is in chat! You can say it louder for him, Spades, if you want. Just give us a hey. No, you! AJ, no, you! What's up, Panda Monster? Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Calling out lurkers? Oh, I'll do it again. Oh, hello, PixelxDad. Thanks for watching my stream. Oh my god, watch me get, like, canceled. Max, the idiot. I've never used your full government name. Oh, made an awful sound. 7385. I think I know when your birthday is. I'm joking. Sorry, Twit Ogre. What's up, Shatoni? Hey! It's Pixels dead. That's so funny. A shared Google Doc, but make sure you edit the pages like 5 times after you post on Twitter. No, I don't think I've ever used your full government name before. I don't want to call you an idiot, you know? Rootsy, you know what I'm referencing? Oh, wait, JJ, did you put your question? Oh, okay. I'm creating an account. Should I pick a creator or fan? Oh, I don't know. I don't think it matters. I correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think it affects your account in any way. As far as I know. I don't know. I didn't even know they had those options. Whatever your heart tells you. Oh, Rootsy, that makes total sense. All right, do what Rootsy says. If you want to receive gifts, do creator. Maybe, okay. And if you want to send gifts, do fan or something? Okay. Interesting, Rootsy. I didn't even think about that. I just thought you were making a wish list. But seriously, Max, thank you so much for contributing to the Nintendo Switch 2. What's up, Cayman? Oh, Panda! Cat or dog? Cat or dog? Cat or dog? Cat or dog? I can do this all day, Jasper. I really can. Apparently so can you. I'm gonna keep hitting you in the head. Oh, he figured it out! Yay! He figured it out! Get it! Get that stick! Okay. Yo, thank you for the 25 stream streak. Yeah, I think the boys deserve a tweet. I totally think they do. Good call. Overtime. Jay Slay, thank you. Are you gonna eat it this time? Oh, right in the noggin, boo. Are you gonna eat it this time? Your brother wants it. Here, lay down and I'll throw it to you. Did you see it? Oh, but you can't eat it out of mommy's hand. God forbid. So cute. I'm gonna eat him up. Oh, I'm gonna cuteness aggression all over him. Otaku. What? They were 107th forehead kissy. He's such a brat. He's so picky. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm gonna make this this one really cursed, okay, Max? Do you mind? Okay. Do I wanna do okay, I gotta picture it, hold on. Ooh, I'm gonna do that, okay. Death God Cheeto! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in! How was your stream? Yo, everyone say hello, Death God Cheeto! But you have to say it just like me, okay? Okay. Good news, I got a new- No way! Brad, I'm so happy for you. Brad got a new job. Everyone say W Brad. 44 days, really? Let's go. Yas. Is that a lily pie emote? It is! I can recognize those emotes anywhere. Yeah, Boo like locks in with the treats. He's so cute. Oh, really? I've never played. Okay. Death God, don't hate me. I've never played a single Final Fantasy game. Would you believe me if I said that? I've never played a single Final Fantasy game. Yikes! But I hope you had the best time, though. So you just want a Black Switch too? I'm not answering that, Devil, because you're suspiciously up to something. Cassidy! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Nah, Devil. You buy yourself some bronchitis medicine or something. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I don't know. I don't know if they have any like special Switch 2s. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't picky. If it works, it works. I had a friend who passed the played. Oh, you have a friend who passed. that played Wrecking Ball in Overwatch. So I'm gonna do that tattoo. Shut up. That's so cute. Oh, I love that. I'm sorry for your loss though, but that's super cute. Play 4 or 9. Oh, really? Isn't 14 like really popular? 2 in a row. Hi, Chef. Oh, do not buy me a Switch. What the fudge, Devil? Devil, I will ban you. What if I did that, Devil? What if I did? Okay, I'm not gonna do that. That's so mean. You're sick. What if I did that? Just ban you. I'm joking. I would never. Smoke one for him next time you do. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Remind me something about Space Panda Mama J when I'm finished with this doggy for Max. Oh, so play like 4 or 9 for the story. Ah, I see. Devil, you're so funny. No. Oh my god, Devil, I hope work's been okay. It's been, yeah, remind me. So I'm gonna get distracted. But Death God, if you need to go raid and run, please make sure you do so. Please get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, nummies, and bevies. Go eat, go pee, go poo, go stretch, go drink. And if you guys are new here, welcome in. My name is PixelxKitten. I've had a rough day today, so that's why my demeanor is a little... Today, I'm trying my best, though. But we're gonna open up some Pokemon cards, play some DBD, and maybe get drunk. People are gonna start thinking I have a drinking problem. And I literally only drink because of stream. Stop being nice to me, and then I won't have a drinking problem, guys. I'm joking. Okay, well, should I stop drinking shots? I feel like I'm drinking shots like almost every stream now. Should I not do that? I love you so much. No, I love you, Moist. No, you. No, you. Max, I don't want you to hate me, but I think this dog is so cursed, and if that's any consolation, it means it's my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna give you a collar. You're gonna get a collar. Oh. Ooh, actually, I was gonna be cute and give you like a little heart charm, but I'm gonna give you a bone charm. Because you're a doggy. Okay. It's so cursed. I do declare that I love him. Sushi guy, mwah. Thank you for the 4 kissy. You need a drinking solution? No, Sushi guy almost made that joke too. That's so funny. Every day gets better. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Death God. I hope you have the best night ever. Seriously, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate you. Escape. Mwah. Thank you for the 4 kissy. Escape. Happy birthday. Birthday kissies for you. Hap fibrality or brality. Yep, there it is. Thank you. Everyone say hap fibrality to escape. Escape, happy birthday. Ugh, Raven, I'm so sorry. Max. And your doggy is so cute. Your doggy has a bone tag, and it says GB for good boy. But, I love him. I hope you love him, too. Oh, because there's no redos. No redos. Thank you so much. Hap tap to Perfori. Don't pin my shame. Stop having shame. That's so pitiable. Do you guys make it, do you guys... I should probably disclose that, I have been awake for a long time. I did have a 3-hour nap. I'm gonna call it a nap, alright? For some people, that's a full-blown sleep. I'm calling that a nap. My brain isn't working the way brains normally work. I'm a switch. So if I say things that don't make sense, if I say things that looks like I read it off of a Spade System teleprompter, I'm just trying my best, okay? I thought that was pretty funny. Spade System teleprompter. I love this emote so much. Wow. I'm being attacked. This is a hostile work environment for Spades now. Spades is gonna have to take it up with HR. Alright, my G feel the day is Nuka Cherry. I know I'm only using like the same 3 flavors over and over again because I'm dead inside and I want to feel something, and Nuka Cherry makes me feel happy. Yes, Mira! Oh, that makes me so happy. Alright. So, I got a special little box in the mail. You guys want to know what was in my special little box? What was in my special little box was my Space Panda gummies refreshment replace. I don't know. They send me this like once a month, so thanks, Space Panda. Use code Kitten, 30% off. And then I asked them, it's like, guys, I've never tried like the little like Delta 9 lollipops before. Can I try one? And they sent me 5. I've never tried one of these, but it's a Delta 9 lollipop that's 20 milligrams. For the record, one gummy is 10 milligrams Delta 9, and I take half of that. So, do I do the whole thing? Yes or no? But, yeah, so thank you, Space Panda, for the gift package. I love you. Use code Kitten for 30% off. What's up, Kaya? Spades needs 7 years of PTO. That's really funny. Why use many flavor when one flavor worked good? Yeah, see, you get me. Do the whole thing? 20 milligrams light work. You were so funny. I truly would, like, just, you know, on stream. But my brain is so fried right now that I fear that I would forget that I'm streaming and I would just sit here and just start playing, like, Heroes of Might and Magic, and just sit here. And, like, totally forget that I'm streaming. Like, I genuinely, like, am worried about what would happen if I just took one of these and turned my mental state that I am right now. I'm leaving. You're leaving? No, don't do that. If that special lollipop, for fuck's sake, Britain needs to legalize, because I want. Oh my god, you're so British. You even have an S for legalize. That's so cute. Dude, because I'm not going to. I absolutely will not. I'll do like a 5 milligram on stream if I do want to get zooted. But, oh, should I read it? A higher state of mind. Do not use, oh, it's just a warning. Okay, well, never mind. I'm not gonna read that. I thought it was like, had like a little like excerpt or something. It required, FBI clearance on, no, no, because, no, also nutmeg. Mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy, because I don't remember if I did that. I took a 10 milligram, a whole ass gummy, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, so that did not work well, for me. I just sat on the couch, and I was just like, what? So, no, I'm good. They were like, when it's like, oh, Spades, I didn't know you changed your name. I'm joking. Hi, Miss B. I'm sorry, Spades, I love you. And I only pick on you because I love you. Miss B, happy weekend. Happy weekend, everybody. That sounds great. Oh, just sitting on the couch and just like freaking out. Astrology sign check. I'm a Libra. Oh, yeah, Max, yeah. Ugh, good call. I'm gonna read this out loud. That was honestly a lot of fun, and the first like 8 hours were the longest week of my life. That is so funny. What is that that picture that's going around TikTok, the cherry on top picture? Cherry on top. January Capricorn. I'm an Aquarius with aspirations and rage. Oh, that's so cute. June Cancer, June Gemini. Happy weekend. I'm an October Libra, if that matters. Diggy diggy hole, diggy diggy hole, diggy diggy hole. So cute. So cute! Gem, cap, gem. Oh, is that sun, moon, rising? Is that the order? Did I do it? But I want to squeeze you. He would love it. Oh my god. Okay. I just want you guys to know that you guys can say thank you to one of my good neighbors. I don't have a lot of them. A lot of my neighbors piss me off. But I have a really good neighbor. I'm not gonna say her name, but she's awesome, and she also has a dog. I'll tell you the dog's name. Rootsy, her dog's name is Comet, by the way. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but yeah, she has a dog named Comet. And Boo and Comet are best friends. I just want you guys to know that I was not having a good day today, obviously. And I was so tired. I was like, I'm just going to walk the dogs and just go back to sleep. And I was outside walking Boo. And her name is Good Neighbor, yeah. And she was out, and she always has to say hi to Boo because, you know, Boo is just like the cutest little boy. And she's never seen Boo act crazy. And that drives me crazy that she's never seen Boo act crazy. And no one ever believes me that this dog is a fucking psychopath. Because look at how cute he is on stream. Oh, he's a sleepy little angel. He's a fucking psychopath. This dog is insane. But you don't see it because, you're right. And I can't post some of those snaps because some of those snaps have, like, you know, stuff in the background I don't want people to see. But I, like, every time, and, like, when he's around Comet, he's just like, oh, yay, happy, and he's, like, super calm about it. But when he's around Charlie, he's like, he's, like, insane. He's absolutely insane. He's an insane dog. Rootsy hasn't even seen him at his worst. I really need to get a video of him at his worst, Rootsy. On Sunday at dinner, I'll try to do that, because he's bad. He's a bad boy. But, what was I about to say? So I'm trying to finish my thought before I catch him on chat. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to get derailed. But I just want you guys to say, you better thank my neighbor so much, because she's just awesome, and she made me so happy, and she's the reason why I'm streaming right now, because otherwise I would just gone back to sleep. Sorry, I just had to say that. So thank you, neighbor. Thank you, comments, mommy. All right, I'm just going up. She's a Libra. Me. I'm more indecisive than Libras. Have more horrors than Scorpio. I cry and panic more than Cancers. I like food as much as a stereotypical Taurus. And I like to be weird and naive, also smart like a Virgo. Oh, really? That's so cute. I like that. All dogs are secretly psychopaths? Yes. If you see Boo in public and don't say hi, yeah. Boo is such a good boy in public. There's dogs, he's about 50-50, though. Like, some dogs, he'll, like, see and, like, instantly, like, just, like, bark. He'll get, like, the Stegosaurus back, and, like, he just freaks out. And then other dogs are just like, oh my god, I love you!
Zomg.
Oh my god! Oh my god! A millennial! Oh my god, XD. Rooster! Holy shit, does that say 37 months? Cheese and rice, Rooster. Chill on it. Rooster, thank you for the 37 months. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free view, and add your sub badge. Also, Chef, I don't know if I did you a kissy. Mwah, mwah, because I missed it. Also, Rooster, mwah, supernova. Mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. Also, hi, Moon Cards. Moon Cards, thank you for the 100 million bajillion streak. Best friend versus brother energy. Wait, you talking about the dogs? You're a Pisces? W Pisces. W Pixel's neighbor? Yes, W Pixel's neighbor. Yeah, 37 months is a long time. I cry a lot. I cry a lot, too. I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. No, that's 100%, yeah. What do you say? And I say I get crazy, my big brother? Yeah. Rock G, if you're watching this, fuck you. I'm joking. Ghost Gremlins. Thank you for the forehead kiss. Yes. Do you guys want to open up some Pokemon cards? I got this from Meyer. Pokemon.
Woo. That's a lot of months, and I look forward to another 61.
Kyle said, 37 months? Hold my beer. What the fudge? Holy. What? Kyle! Think about 61 months? Yeah, Brian's woo is always like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Think of the 61 months. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free viewing, and your sub badge. I spent several days ascending a mountain. When I reached the top, I was met by a monk. They said, They had said PixelxKitten stream, and I shed a single tear because I knew it meant I had reached peak. Okay. Okay. Who paid you to say that? Thank you for that. Thank you. That is just the delusion that I need today. Welcome in. But seriously, thank you for the 37 months and the 61 months. What the fudge? You can't start a hype train, Kyle, if that's what you're trying to do.
Hello?
Yo, Behavior offered you 100 RX sales. Yes, that much closer to Jason. Kyle, thank you for giving this up to Acheron. Okay, I'm so sorry. What the fudge happened to my brain? Thank you for giving this up to Acheron. Acheron, enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes, ad for your view, and your sub badge. Don't why not me?
Go on.
Oh,
Give me a
Max,
nibble.
I'll punish you. I'll turn that GB into a BB for bad boy. Turn your dog into a bad boy. Thank you for the 100 bits. Okay. Thank you for the 150 bits. What the fudge? Thank you guys so much. Chill on it. I'm gonna open up Pokemon cards, and you guys can tell my cat how cute he is. Hi, Jasper. You're so cute. Ooh. This is so cool. This is my first time opening this box, by the way. Max, thank you for another 50 bits. What? Whoa, whoa. Sorry, Jasper. Oh my god, that's probably scared you. Thank you so much. Oh! Ow! Man! I hope you didn't type that out like 40 times. That's like insane if you did that. Thank you for the 190 bits. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Truly. Thank you. Thank you. That's very hot and tall and talented, handsome of you. Look at how pretty this is. Hi, Pika. Pika P. Girl. There she is. Pika. Pika P. Pikachu. Why was that auto-modded? Maybe they thought you were like a bot or something. This is so cute. You're going right into his sleeve. Oh, you're right, Max. You're right. Want to take a shot with me? Do I? I'll take a birthday shot with you. What do you want me to take a shot of? Your choice. But Fruit Loops vodka, Malort, Pink Whitney, rum, or moonshine. I'm not doing tequila today. You can't make me. You can't make me! Unless you really want me to, I will, but I really hope you don't really want me to. Rum? Okay. Yay! Yippee! Alright. Alright. No, I'm not gonna do this for everyone's birthday, okay? But you can ask, but sometimes I'm allowed to say yes or no. I just want to say that. Because I want to hear, well, you did it for so-and-so's birthday. I don't care. You gotta catch me in the right mood. How about that? you see Jasper? He's like, me too, Mom. You're only 11 years old. You have 10 more years to go, buddy. I'm joking. You count us down? All right. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How about that? Panda, you want Jasper once? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Escape! Wah! Yahoo! Yippee! I'm sorry. Have vibrality. That's what I meant to say. My bad. Don't bite me. I'm not in the mood. Oh, you were so gentile. That was so nice. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Jojo. Nice. Oh, you're so cute when you munch, though. He did the whole, like, nose scrunch thing when he munched. Oh, so cute. You are so cute. You make me want a cuteness aggression you. Nice. Oh, that was so nice. Good dog. Good boy. What's up, Destiny? Destiny, happy weekend. Harry birthday, by the way. I don't know. I feel like misspelling it is kind of like the jam, right? Kyle, mwah, 202 kissies. Shilling. Shilling.
Hex Pride.
Shilling. So cute. Disco Queen. I burped, sorry. Thank you for the 2 months. Enjoy your 90. Count them. Your 90 emotes. Your ad for your view and you're so much. Where'd you get that? Meyer. It's like a Midwest grocery store. What tab in the server can I put a picture? Oh, general photos. General photos I think will be perfect. No, Jojo, get down. Girl, you know you're not allowed on that desk. You guys very much on the hype train, by the way. Jojo! Destiny, thank you for the 2 months. What the hecky? And happy Pride, by the way. Fish! Sure we are spades, alright, so it looks like we have Phantasmal, and Mega Evolution. I'm excited about the Mega Evolution because I haven't opened a lot of packs of Mega. So I'm excited about that. Alright, what energy do we think is gonna be in here? I'm gonna go with metal. Metal. Lightning, fire, fighting. Oh, fire, okay. Lightning. You shared it? Ah! I can't wait to check it out. Dark. What did I say? I'm typing too fast! British! It's Tuesday. Every day's Tuesday if you believe, Rooster. Caw-caw! Sorry. Alright, what did I say? Fist? Metal, that's what I said. What? No one gets psychic? What the heck? No one's a psychic in here. Zigzagoon. Primplop. Sableye. Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Charcadet. Punk Helmet. Cresselia. Oh, Rootsy was just talking about this Pokemon. What's up, Royal Tiger? Lanoon. So cute. Is this a Displaying Valley? Oh, Dizzying Valley, sorry. I can't read the tiny text. Whoa! Oh, cool. Toxtricity? What? Oh! Hey! Fight. Kiss. No way! Let's go! Whoa! Should we stop opening now? Oh, my nose is congested right now, but I think it's because of the crying all day, and then I just took a shot. What'd you get? I got Toxtricity. I think it's an SIR too, or maybe just an IR. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't even cry today. Brag about it. You want a fucking cookie? I'm joking. Wait, in a good way or a bad way, Max? I really wish that the ads played for you guys when it actually told me that the ads played. Did you get a hit? Yes, girl! Yes! Look at this bad boy. I've been crying all day, so fuck you. I don't know if you've been here enough to say that to me, Royal Tiger. Respectfully. Bye! Or hi, Zach! Bye, Zach. Yes, Mama J, let's go! Bye, Max! Max, enjoy the rest of your evening. No, you're not. You okay? Thank you for elaborating, because... Thank you. Because you had me, you for a second. You know what I mean? Alright, guys, guess the energy. I'm just gonna assume that the ads are done. Yeah, good job. Oh, no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I literally, like, I'm... communication fixed. You're so good. Lowers the band hammer. For now. Fairy, and she was a fairy. There's no fairy in the modern packs. It's water, lightning, fire, fighting, psychic, grass, dark, and metal. Oh, Mira's still here. Good. Listen, no one would have known that was you if you didn't say anything. Metla. Metal. I choose metal. Well, if everyone's gonna choose metal, I don't want to choose metal. What if I choose water? Wait. How many people are doing metal? Spades, Kyle, Mama J, and JJ. Okay. I'm choosing water. What? Oh no, no one did fire. Oh, no, you mean fire, right, Mira? That's what you mean? You were gonna choose fire, right? Jigglypuff! Panda Monster, where are you? Yeah, you totally picked fire. Gloom. Chai. Sableye. I don't know what sound he makes. Blowtorch. That was my nickname. And Viper. Bramblegast. Oddish. Ooh. Linu. Rashram. Escape! Escape, thank you so much for the 4 months. What the fudgies? Thank you so much for the birthday subby. Enjoy your 90, count them, your 90 emotes, your ad-free view, and your sub badge. Thank you so much. Jade! Mwah. Destiny. Mwah. Thank you for the 4 head kisses. Alright. We got a hit in the first pack. We didn't get a hit in the second pack. Let's see if we can get last pack magic with this Mega Evolution. I haven't opened a lot of Mega Evolutions, so hopefully we get something good. What energy are we thinking? Okay, Father, no you. Oh, really? Escape? No way! Damn, you're on a roll. Well, damn. Thank you for using your whole ass money for that. Holy shit. Hope you don't regret it. That's really sweet of you. Seriously, Escape. Thank you so much. Happy hacking birthday, man. Fighting. What if I go with? Oh, Destiny. Thank you. Weed. I kind of want to go with Lightning. Dark. Water. We got a little bit of everything. Metal. That's not how you spell it. The winning lottery numbers are 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. It's because I said Lightning. Yeah. Let's go. Which means we're going to get a hit in this pack, right? Toxic Croak. Stoofle. Cumminghool. Sizzlipede. Surfing Beach. Latios! I don't think I have this card. Latios, cute. Marshadow. Magnemite. Hit! Oh, that's right, because it'll be a hit. Hit! Oh, hit! Oh, ooh, cute card, though. But we did get a really dope Toxtricity out of this pack, or out of this box, so I'll take it. That's a really cool card. Oh, Escape, that's really sweet of you, thank you. You would shit if those are right. So, do you know what those numbers are from, chat? Jade? Chat? Everybody? Daddy! Mwah. Thank you for the 4 hit kissing. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Do you guys know? Or is this lore, is this forgotten lore? Do people not know this reference anymore? It's okay if you guys don't. It just means you guys aren't people of culture. Does nobody know where those numbers are from? I'm trying to find it, but I think I'm lost. It's from the TV show Lost. The hit TV show Lost from ABC America or something. I don't know. I don't know what it aired on. Guys, look at my shilling. I love this shilling. So pretty. Shillings. Shillings for Pokemon. So pretty. I love that. I want to open more. That was really good. That was good. Respect. The nature the nature documentary. Shut up. 2319. Isn't that like a Monsters Inc. reference? 2319? Because there's like a sock on him or something? I don't know. I could be just making it up. I won't do it, Jasper. I promise. I won't do it. I promise I won't do it. I promise. I promise I won't do it. Come on. Come on. Oh, you want to so bad. Oh, you want to. Oh, you want to. You trying. Got his dumbass. Is it Jason from Dead by Daylight, by the way? What's up, Tom? It was mustering. No way. Hex. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Really, Mama J? No way. Everyone say hi, Tom. Man, do we open up more Pokemon cards? We just do DBD. Play DBD before it's been an hour stream. Hi, Tom. Shut up. More Pokemon? You said fuck DBD? I was gonna play Houndmaster for you. I'm joking. Let's see. Let's see then. Oh, there's more Mega Evolution in here. I haven't opened this yet before. Spoiler. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, have a good night, JJ. Everyone say good night, JJ. Kaya. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. One more thing. No, you got the shot. What if I do a chat? What if I do a chat tarot pull? My God. I don't know how to finger in my Pride Month. What if we do a chat tarot pull? And you could, like, pretend it's for you. Maybe we did that. Man, imagine forgetting how... Oh my God, it's like, took my shirt. I was gonna, like, strip for you guys. For free? Imagine forgetting how to finger in Pride Month. Alright. Let's do a chat tarot pull. I need clarity. On what? Oh. Right, are we talking about the tarot pull? Chat pull? Okay. No, don't redeem it. We'll just refund you. Really? Oh, sorry. My really was to you, Tom. Caps lock! Why are you yelling? I'm joking. Alright, well, this just came out. The Hierophant. Hierophant. But it's in upright. It's not in the reverse like it was last time we pulled it. Stay the course and avoid attempts at innovation. Trust spiritual and social traditions and seek leaders' knowledge within your culture or faith. Religion, ethics, tradition, knowledge, beliefs, and conformity. Stay the course and avoid attempts at innovation. Trust spiritual and social traditions and seek leaders' knowledge within your culture or faith. Yeah, I think this is pretty relevant to me. That's alright, Escape. Have any of us? What is it, Tiger? Oh my God. So Jade, I was at not a flea market, an antique store, like a huge fudging antique store, and I really have been wanting, like, I've been really craving these wooden utensils, and I finally found a booth that had wooden utensils. I haven't been looking for them at an antique store. I've been, like, looking for them, like, everywhere. And we found this booth, this table there at the antique shop that had these wooden utensils, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes trying to find like the most perfect like spoon and fork. And you know what pissed me off, Jay? You know what pissed me the fuck off is that each spoon and fork had like a sticker attached to it, and it was like one of those stickers that leaves like a huge fudging regis. I'm sorry, I haven't slept in like 30 something hours, or I'm very tired. So it left like a huge like sticky residue on it, so I haven't used them since I bought them, because I cleaned the fudge out of them, but like they still have like a slight residue, and I'm just like, I don't know, I resent them now, you know what I mean? Yeah, thank you, Gremlins. Who is my leader? I don't know, I feel like that's subjective, right? Hearing UPC, no, Mira, that's why I stuttered so much. No, Mira, that's why I stuttered so much, because I'm trying not to say Pokemon terms. Princess! Bravo, Penguin. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Alright, Kyle, you're gonna get timeout, you little boy. Naughty boy. Fucking pin of shame. Pin of shame! Pin of shame! Huge sticky residue is my go-to move in college. Pin of shame! A very well executed magic trick. Yeah, no, truly. Yeah, Royal Tiger, that's true. That's super true. Really? Ugh, I'm sorry, Jade. I have a favorite fork, and I have a favorite spoon. I do. But I won't kink shame you. Good evening, princess. I wish I knew where I got like my favorite spoon and my favorite fork from, because I would love to get more of them, but I have no clue. I got them like they were selling them individually. I don't know, maybe like Kohl's or something, because I got them for college, because I just got one knife, one spoon, one fork for college when I was going to the dorms, and they're my favorite, and I like what I do with them is like I'll eat with them, and immediately I'll rinse them off and like clean them just so I could have it to use again. And I barely touch the rest of my silverware. I still use the rest of my silverware because it's really pretty and I love my silverware, but I definitely have a favorite. Oh wait, okay, yeah, okay, Royal, yeah. Oh, did I miss a stretch? Oh, big stretch muffin. Yeah. I feel like we're all in touch with the tism a little bit, right? Pino, what did you say to me, Rooster? Oh. Kangaskhan, come back. Promo card? Ha! Tom, I have utensils like that too. That's so funny. That's really funny that you said that. Because we're the same person. And then I'm going to try not to look at it, but it is a 3D card. Here you go, 3D. Okay, and that's all we're looking at that because that makes me dizzy. Sending you all the love and hugs. Oh, you're the only one who's giving me head pats today, Bravo Penguin. Thank you. Why is it so big? You know what? No one's ever asked me that, Tom. Because it's not very big. But thank you for the head pats. And also hugs. Hugs for anybody who wants it. If you guys don't want, you guys can double it and give it to the next person. Royal Tiger. So I think doing the dishes is like my least favorite thing ever to do ever. And so recently, the thing that's been getting me through it is getting high. And that's the only way I can do dishes. Why was that Pokemon card so big? Why'd you change what you said? Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you and I appreciate you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, no, I totally get ya, Royal Tiger. I totally get ya. Oh, yeah, I heat my stuff up in my Tupperware and then I eat through my Tupperware. Like, so I don't, you don't use dishes. Riker! Mwah, thank you for the forehead kiss, Steve. Oh, you know what? I actually have two. I have two. I think my second one is, like, not filled yet. That's what she said. I need a binder for, like, the big ones. Like, there's these cards, and then there's ones that are, like, that much bigger that don't fit in my binder. Girl! Stop it. Being a bad boy. Being a bad kitten. Exclamation point bad kitten. Post in the Discord, Jade. Tom, I did. I'm sorry. Thank you, Tom. You're a good kid. I literally have one spoon and one fork that I use for literally everything because of my... Yeah, Destiny, yeah, exactly. We all get it. Were you really? You're so cute. Oh, like when you were at Target? I do not have a 3D printer. My dad does, though. Na 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 na. Guys, guess the energy. Green Reaper. Mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. I'm gonna go with Metla. Purple. Purple's a good one. Grass. Lightning. I'm not sure if I have. Maybe, Chef. I don't know. I can't think of it if I did. I do love the song, though. You are so cute, Bravo. For Pix. Whoa! Wait, Green Reaper, I kind of want to get you started with Target. What's up with Target? What beef do you have? What beef do you have? I need to know. Oh, that's alright, Jade. You can post it wherever. Oh, no one said fire. Oh, man. Oh, man. Miltank. Carlia. Drizzle. Scorbunny. Inteleon. Strange Timepiece. Shuckle. Spiritomb. What is happening? It's our second full art today. What is happening? This is so cute. Oh. What? What is happening? Oh, you used to. Oh, you work there right now? So you're gonna be my Pokemon card? Mule. I'm joking. Okay, that was a joke. Hi, Leosmos! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy, and thank you for the 1,300,000 Bahonkabillion streak. What? Is that good? It's very good. It's very, very good. So if you get a card like this, it's like, cool, it's a card. If you get a card like this, it's like, that's a hit. Like, you know, this is a pretty cool card, right? But then if you get cards like this that we just pulled today, that's like the full art. And that's nice. That's what you want. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You did have a great, probably my favorite stream streak of the day, Tom. Oh. Oh. My neck is so painful. Yeah. That's, oh, Green Reaper, that sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dude. She kind of crunchy. It's been so bad. Oh, Jade, let me take a peek. Blitzboats! Oh, man. I'm sorry. Did you have a good day, though? Where'd you say you put it in food? I'm not gonna lie. I really like the fork and the knife from the second set. I don't like the handle of the spoon on the second set. The first set, I kind of like. Don't hate me. I kind of dig them. I do. I think the second set is actually pretty dope. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I think it's pretty... I think the knives are just super cool. They look like elvish cutlery. Like, this looks like cutlery you'd see in, like, Rivendell or something. You know what I mean? 30 minutes commute home now? Okay, no, I'm good. I'm good. You can double that and give that to the next person else wants. I'm so good. Yikes. Oh, I'd use them. I'd butter that muffin. Where was your... What was it? Was it in tattoos? On my way to fight God. This is funny. I like that. I honestly, like, so this is the reference photo you said? This is perfect as is. This is so fun. I would get that tattooed on me. This is so cute. Oh my god. I love it. On my way to fight God. Okay. What are we doing? I can get behind the second set to display it, but I never want to eat off them. Oh, I'd eat the fuck out of them. But the spoon handles, I think, would piss me off. Also, awful gamer. Think of the forehead kissy. I think that'd be so dope. I think it'd be so dope, Mama J. I think that'd be a great tattoo for your friend. Alright. Oh, we got Destined Rivals, by the way. Destined Rivals! Oh, that's right. Okay. So you just got off work. You're saying hello from after work. You were so cute. Drive safe. I hope you make it home from work in 25 minutes. Sally! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Alright, chat. Stream ends in 29 minutes. I'm joking. Could you imagine? I'd be the worst streamer ever. Alright, guess the poke. Wait, no. Guess the energy card. Guess the energy card. What are we getting? I kind of want to go... You know what? I want to go with Psychic now. I'm thinking Psychic. Or water. I'm going to go with Psychic, but if it's water, I'm going to be mad. Is that a weed? Destiny's like locked in on the weed. Sticking lately. I'm saying yellow. Of course you pick yellow or purple. Or no, orange or purple, right? Is it yellow or purple? Right, orange or purple. What are your colors? So dark, grass, purple, now. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna stick with dark. But if it's water, I'm gonna be pissed. Whatever! This game hates me. Pupitar! Yeah! Nidorino! Kangaskhan. Team Rocket's Ariana Grande? Psyduck! Okay, Destined Rivals has some of the cutest cards. I'm not gonna lie. Team Rocket's Energy. Dwebble, so cute. Rattata. And... a Yad Mega EX. Cute. I don't know if we've pulled this one. I don't remember. But it is a hit. So we're 2 out of 2 so far. On this Kangaskhan Vax. Alright. Big evolution. Alright. What do we think is gonna be in here? Grass. Grass. I'm so confident it's grass. Oh, yeah. What size are they, Tom? Lightning. Oh, I see. Weed. I'm thinking weed too, Po. 5x7. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Psychic? What'd I say? Weed. Yeah. I'm going with you. Weed. They're big. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm making everything you say sus. I'm sorry. Lightning! Lightning never strikes twice. I'm sorry, Tom. Girl! I can hear... I've been watching so much Tom streams, I can actually hear his voice inside my head. Get out! I'm joking. Scorbunny. Young Goose. Rare Candy. Oh. Chi-Yu? I've never seen this guy before. He's like a pop-eyed goldfish. I've never seen this Pokemon card before. It literally looks like a pop-eyed goldfish. He's so cute. Surfing Beach. I've never seen him before. Oh, another Latios. We just pulled this earlier. Areola's Mischief. Delibird. And Dialga. Elpac. His shiny is blue. Really? I love blue. Tom is the voice of my conscience. Oh, R.I.P. Not true. I was saying that facetiously. But, do you think you have recovered your luck from yesterday? You mean my insane luck from yesterday, Po? Our
Go on.
Oh,
It's
nah.
all wrong.
I can't listen
By
to that one
rights,
right now. I'm
we
sorry.
shouldn't even be here.
Whoa, I
But we
can't
are.
listen to that one right now.
It's
Nope.
like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo. The
So
ones that
sorry.
really mattered.
I can't.
Full of darkness and danger they were.
I'm just gonna
And
wait
sometimes
for the
you
alert box
didn't
sound
want
to go
to know
down.
the end.
I'm sorry, I can't listen.
Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass.
Go on. Give him a nibble.
A new day will
We'll
come.
keep waiting.
And when the sun shines, it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that
I will
stayed with
absolutely
you.
not be listening
That
to that
meant
right now.
something. Even if you were too small
You
to
can't
understand
make
why.
me.
But I think, Mr. Frodo,
Oh, my
I do
tiny
understand.
little ears, my tiny little
I know now.
baby-sized ears.
Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't.
Nope.
Because they were holding on to
Waiting
something.
for the alert box.
What are we holding on to, Sam?
Oh man.
That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for.
Oh, is she done? Kyle, thank you for the 200 bits. And thank you for much for that quote. You little bitch. Like, what is it? Soliloquy? Like, gets me so bad, like, on a normal day. I don't know if I can hear that one right now. I might watch a slightly little Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit tonight. Who knows? Who knows what Pixel will get up to tonight? But thank you, Kyle. Thank you so much. It's from Paldea. Oh, really? Oh, what game is that? Or what game has GU? Noodles! Noodles! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Bye, Kyle! Kyle, have the breath time. Oh, really? I never finished Scarlet Violet. Ooh, yikes. L-Streamer. I never finished it. Panda. I will probably ignore it. It's too bad you missed it, Pixel. That Fishbook was from Scarlet Violet last year around this time, and they gave up free shinies. Oh, really? That's alright. It's a really cute looking Pokemon, though. Guys, I'm getting kind of hot right now. Is it the crying? What is it? Why am I so hot right now? I'm joking. I don't remember if I did the card trick, so we're just gonna pretend like I did the card trick. Oh, that feels so nice. Thank you. Thank you, fan that's like older than me. Thank you. What energy do we think is gonna be in here? Everyone say bye, Kyle, by the way, because you're also hot. I think it's actually pretty cool today. I think it's actually a lot hotter in Canada than it is here today. It's only like 80 degrees here today. Grass. You know what? Yeah, I'm full send on grass. We haven't had a single weed today. Love you, Kyle. I love it more. Sorry, I want to pick fight with you, Tom. You unlock the quest after doing a certain amount of one of the class. Really? Yeah, I need to play Scarlet and Violet. Why do you want to fight me so bad? I don't know. No, that emote is so cute. Stop. Let me have it. Guys, I want to commission new emotes. Can I see Jasper's fur blowing in the wind so majestic? He does not like fans. So every time I'd be walking on my treadmill, and I would need my fan blowing on me, because one, I get hot, and two, the treadmill gets hot. Jasper, like, and the cats would, like, walk in front of the fan to, like, get around the house, and they would just, like, you know, like, just slink around, or, like, you know, like, make faces. It's so funny. Hi, come here! Come here and do stuff to you! Nothing. Okay. Well, I tried. I tried. I'm gonna give him treats, by the way, because I feel like he deserves that. Yeah, I don't think I ever finished it. I don't know why. Whoop. Thank you for not biting me. What's up, Big Perp? He does deserve compensation. Really? No way! A tower fan! Ooh! I'm sorry. If you bit me, then I would have understood. If you finish it, I'll give you a shiny fishy. I love rage baiting! I didn't want him to bite me. Ooh, wow. That's actually not so bad for a tower fan. Nice. Oh my god! Hot pot in this hot ass weather. I need hot pot anytime. Like here today. Oh really? Yeah. Raven. Amen, sister. Amen. Literally, like why I almost didn't stream today was because the funeral service was all outside because it's a fudging like graveyard cemetery, and like they had a nice tent, right? But then my damn family like had to like yap for like 20 minutes, and like the beating sun. It's noon, so like there's no shade. I'm trying to like hide in the car to like get some like shade. I'm dying. I'm just like is what I call my pussy. I finished it for you, Ritzy, don't worry. But yeah, I was miserable today. Oh my god, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I could fuck around with the capture card that I have, Po, because I do have an Elgato HD 60. That's what I have. I have an Elgato HD 60, and it used to work. I don't know why. I haven't fucked with it since 2021. I hate tech things. You know, tech things piss me off. So I did not do the card trick. No one said psychic. Damn. Oh, lyrical. That would be my 13th reason. That would be my 13th reason. Fuck you doing? Sorry, I heard him faffing about. Toad School. Why is corn on the cob so hairy? That is such a crazy sentence, but I understand. Like, I get it, but that's such a crazy sentence. Yeah, it's old, right? Like, I don't think I have the HD60S. I think I have the HD60. Laurentis. This is a cute card, by the way. This is super cute. Another Spiritomb. A Melodic. So pretty. And a hit. Oh, fuck you, Wobba Fett. Wobba Fett! Fuck you. Well, we got 2 hits and 2 no hits, so, you know, I'll take it. Hi, Music, and I hope you're doing so good, you hot and talented, handsome man. Do you know how to do the snap card move? I don't know what that means. Like snap. Bravo Penguin, that would be my 14th reason. Hi, Dagos! You're getting ready for work? I hope you have the best day at work today, Lyrical. Dagos! Mwah, thank you for the 4 kissy. Also, Panda Monster, thank you for the 7 stream streak. It's like when you take a card and place it behind your hand, held between your feet. What? I'm gonna pretend like I haven't been awake for like 36 hours. And I'll be like, yeah, I totally know what you mean. Ooh! Valorant? Yummy! That's a weird thing to say. Guys, should I play DBD in this? Dankos, thank you. You're only the 2nd person that gave me head pats, so thank you. Shut the fuck up! Sorry, that was rude. I'm sorry. Jasper, did you want to lay down? Here you go. Here. There you go, Jojo. There you go. Yeah, I know. Good boy. Good girl. Hey! Cat did the trick. Guys, I don't know if I should have streamed today. My brain is so not working right now. Alright, what did we open? Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution. We have Destined Rivals. Phantasmal Flames. Destined Rivals. Let's go. Alright. Gotta organize your sets. I'm sorry, guys. I have not slept. I took a 3-hour nap, but it was not enough. Was not enough. Show me emotes. Oh my god. Oh, that's how magic works? Don't tell me how magic works. It ruins it. I'm just joking. Oh yeah. Oh my god, Tom, I still need to watch, what's that movie by Markiplier? These Nuts. I still need to watch that Markiplier movie. On, oh, thanks for the head pats, guys. Now I understand what you're doing. Iron Lung, thank you. See, this is why I keep you around, Raven. No one likes a poser, Po. I'm joking. I'm so joking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it'd be funny. I'm sorry. Alright, we're gonna play some Dead by Daylight. Po, I love you. By daylight. I made so much food on the grill. I bought a bunch of almost expired. Oh, Dangos, no one likes a poser. Or should have been, oh my god, Dangos, thank you so much! Yeah! Want to know what else? Tell me. That would have been funnier, but I failed. I bought 4 salads that were 50% off because they're, like, about to expire tomorrow. I'm so happy. They're so good. They're, like, my favorite salads, but they're so expensive because they're, like, $6 salads. But when they're about to expire, they're only, like, $3. So, spent $12 in salads today. Not a finger. I've never been fingered. What? I'm joking. I'm sorry. Ooh. Ooh. Ayo. Happy bread. I want salad. Oh my god. Mira, you don't understand. I have such, like, excellent taste in salads. You guys don't understand. Pin of shame. Okay, so 3 of my mods have been pinned of shames today, by the way. So Spades, Kyle, and Tom. Who's next? No, but, like, seriously, my salads are so good. Sweet side takes to I haven't. Who was the second one? Spades was Heffrey Burfordably. Trying to say happy birthday. Kyle was something about, like, sticky residue. Was, like, his finishing move in school or something. It was, like, a sex move in school. And then Tom says, the tooth fairy's only the beginning. Wait for you to hear about the bone fairy. Okay, Lightly. You posted food and bevs? I already forgot what we were talking about, so I'm gonna go check that out. Oh, you're grilling stuff. Yeah. Yeah, let me get hungry. Oh, fuck you. Respectfully. Ah, but, like, fuck. This is nice, Panda Pan. Damn. Who put the chef emoji? That's so cute. Destiny? That's so cute. Okay, Lightly. I'm sorry, but, like, it is such a fun word to say. If it's any consolation, Mira, whenever I do a sponsored stream with, oh god, what's the name of that video game? Rootsy knows, because Rootsy's called me out on how I've misspelled it. Oh, here we go. Dying Light. Every time I do a sponsor stream with Dying Light, I always spell it Dying Light. And Rootsy always tells me, you dumb bitch, you misspelled it. Because I would put Dying Light sponsored stream, and she's like, you misspelled it. This was years ago, Rootsy. This is back when you were Red Wolfie, so maybe your alter ego remembers. I can come over? Yeah! The mods come too? Yeah, fuck you, normies. I'm joking. Actually? Oh, that's a good back crack. That felt great. Salmon? Explain. I'm not going. Rock lobster? Guys, we're gonna play some DBD really well, because I'm always super good at this game. Yeah, I don't go outside. Tom's an indoor cat. We can't let him out. You can do it for him, Rootsy. Exclamation point brat at 10 faulty. Everyone can come 9. Come 9! Happy Pride! What do you mean downgraded? What the fuck does that mean? Oh, that's alright, Dangos! It was like the best stream I've ever done, but whatever. I'm joking. Oh, really? Dessert? What are you gonna bring? Sad meows. Oh, my stream might freak out because the game's finally opening. Guys, at the risk of crying, do you guys want to see a really cool memento that I took from the funeral today for my uncle? Dangos, yeah, actually. That very much so, yes. What's up, Magenta? Magenta, hope you're doing so good. Happy weekend. Is it grass? No, I did not steal grass from the funeral. I'm not gonna show you guys what I got. I'm joking anymore. I'm joking. Sephora! I love you. Pecan pie? Peach cobbler. Peach Gobbler was my nickname in high school. So anyways, so I told you guys the story about how, since I play, like, on inverted controls, so when I'm playing a controller, down is up is down, and I've told this story a bunch of times before, that, the reason why I play inverted controls is because my uncle, the one who passed, was really into planes. Like, he loved planes. And my very first game, as a bebe, was an airplane, like, flight simulator. And this was back in, like, the 90s, I know, she's fucking unk. And before there was, like, you know, controllers or Xboxes and things like that. And so it was, like, just a stick. Like one of those. And so my uncle's brother went to his apartment and picked up some really cool model planes, and I got to keep them. So here's a really cool model plane, but look, ooh. So this is super cute. A joystick, yeah. Thank you, Raven. You know, you got it. And then there's this one, which is super fucking cool. And it's got like the Angie face on the front. So shout out to my uncle. So I don't know where I'm gonna put this, but I got a couple other ones too. I think the cockpit actually opens too, if I remember correctly. I remember playing with these when I was a kid, I think. Does it open? No, maybe it doesn't. But yeah. Super cool. Super cool. So I got to keep that, a couple baseballs too. So yeah. So shout out to my uncle for bringing those over. And I got some of his ashes too. So yeah, it was just, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I got a bunch of planes, but those are my favorites. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that plane. I'm gonna keep that one up there. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you, Magenta. Hi, Debior! Peas in a can pie. Shut up. I'd fuck some cheesecake right now. Oh, there we go. 4 mods down. Who's next? Oh, jeez. Wait, could you make a turkey marinated in miso? Why would you take Boo and marinate him in miso? That's crazy. You're not gonna eat my dog, Panda Pants. I'm joking. The joke is because he's a frozen turkey. Say bubble, bubble! Bubble, 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 bubble. Mike, my cockpit opened once. If you were a mod, Dankos, that would be pinned. I just hope you know. Luckily for you, I can screenshot things. Can I? There we go. Luckily for you, I can screenshot things. What the fuck is shameful about that? Hello. Thank you, Panda Pants. Thank you, Magenta. Magenta, hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. And sometimes they flop. No, that was very funny. I really enjoyed that one. Then telling people the bone fairy exists. You obviously don't like cheesecake enough. You need to be stopped, Tom. These emotes are so funny. Oh man, I think my display capture for Steam is gonna be messed up because it's like crazy Minecraft size, if I remember. Oh no, it's okay. Wait, is this gonna be crazy sized? Oh, crazy size is my nickname in high school. Oh really, Music Kid? Are you telling me that I'm gonna have a good time? Oh, I need to lower the volume. I think Mira is hungry. Mine Java? What? I don't get it. I'm dumb. Oh, that's alright. Music and I don't have those notifications on, so you're safe. You're safe from me. Me? Hungry? Never. I had a protein shake before stream. Because we did eat at this, like, delightful, like, Grecian restaurant. And I had a gyro plate. And my brother copied me and had a gyro sandwich. Fucking poser. And, I'm joking. And, I'm only saying that because he's in chat right now. I don't think he can hear me. But, it was delicious. Oh, I sent a picture to Space. Hold on. I'll put it in the Discord. Hold on. Food and bevs. All right, this was my lunch that I had today, and I had about half of that. But besides that, I haven't eaten since yesterday. And yesterday, I didn't eat anything except a protein shake. So, in the past 48 hours, I've had 2 protein shakes. Oh no, I had a salad this morning. I lied. I had another discount salad this morning that I bought the other day. I lied. So, okay, in the past 48 hours, I've had 2 protein shakes, un salad, and half a gyro plate. It was delicious. Destiny, do it! And it's not, and Tom, it's not because I've lost my appetite. Like, girl, I could eat anything at any time. But sometimes you're just, like, not hungry. Okay, wait, does that mean losing my appetite? Oh, it was so much fun, Big Perp. It was so much fun. I killed a bunch of polar bears, I killed a lot of bunnies, and I made a cat fall in love with me. I want cheesecake so bad right now. I'm cheesecake. I'm joking. 2.1 bonus? What the fudge? Hi, Reaper Bunny. Ah! Hi, Rabbit! Well, you're just in time for 6-9, because I'm about to get my first game. Oh, shit. I didn't play an ad. What if I did an ad now to end game? Oh, no. Go, no. I gotta do it. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I won't ready up, though. What's my build? Is it the same build as I've been doing before? I don't have any offerings? Oh, God. Jeez. Oh, I'm so broke. A bound envelope. BPS. Bound envelope. Look! Oh, God. You know, I'm gonna bring the most broke BP offering because it's so funny. Broke. Reaper Bunny. Mwah. Thank you for the 87 4 kisses. Hi, Jinx. Happy weekend, guys. Are you guys ready for some deb-a-deb? Jinx. Mwah. Thank you for the 4 kissy. Luck. I don't need your stinking luck. Just kidding. Guys, did you see the cool stuff that YouTube sent me? I forgot to put this away, so I'm showing this again. Guys, look at the cool stuff that YouTube sent me. Thanks for the picnic biscuit. I'm joking. I got this dope-ass cooler. There's no Malort in there. Yet. But there will be Malort in here. And then I got this, like, picnic blanket. I'm not going to open it because I really don't feel like folding it. Because it's, like, looks so cute right now. Yeah, who wants to go on a picnic with me? Ugh. Oh, my game's racing star. And it's so cute. I don't own a cooler. So I thought that'd be, just so cute to have. They also offered us, like, blankets. And I was like, I already have, like, so many blankets. Puppy cam is lagging. My whole thing. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but, oh! The real Vecna. My PC freezes when I load into Dead by Daylight games because my PC hates me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Need more blankets? 4? What the fuck is this shit? No. You stinky coochie lady. Sorry, I was about to, like, freak out. Why was it half empty? Oh, because I rolled a 4. Yeah. I roll a 4, so you don't get jack shit. Yeah. Jordan, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. AK, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kisses. Oh, let me open up, Twitch on me phone so I can catch chat. Okay. Okay. Oh, this guy's name is Bilectual. Whatever that means. Happy ride! What is this rolling mechanic? Rolling as in like weed or rolling as in like dice? Ah! Oh, I thought he was coming back to hook for a second. I was like, oh no. You just eyeballed? You just eyeballed in front of God and everybody? A weed mechanic? I'm calling the police. Oh, how's the game audio, by the way? Because I'm on Minecraft audio. Or I just changed it from the Minecraft audio yesterday. So let me know if it's low, high, perfect. Like you guys. Ooh, Jasper just rubbed up against my leg and that scared the hell out of me. Oh, I have conviction! Yes, sir! Is Beans getting the save? I hope so. I hope they are. Because I'm on this gen. Oh, no, the killer is by them. Interesting. None of you guys are getting her? What? Crazy. Man. In my Pride Month, they're not gonna be saving bisexual. Whoa! Whoa! The game freezes at that moment! Are you shitting me? Fuck you. Man. Oh, she went to second stage, too. Man, our teammates suck.
Help me. Right?
Oh, no, AK, are you okay? Is it bad? Hi, Loki! Loki, happy weekend! I hope you're doing so good. Loki, mwah! Almost at 200 kisses. I don't know. Isn't that too bad? Okay, so hopefully it heals soon. I'm sorry to hear that, though. We'll make it. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Next one's on me.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna grab my med kit. Oh, damn. Alright. Oh, I was gonna save him. Oh, what if I, like, went down there, flashlight saved her? That'd be so cool. I'm gotta end stream. I'm joking. Oh, he has Weave of Attunement. Oh my god, is he doing Adept? Adept Vecna? Beans! 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 Oh, sorry. Wait. Oh, it's breaking it. Okay, he has that add-on. Oh, fuck. Alright, that one didn't lag. What if I just end the stream? I'm joking. We just got on the DBD. Was the commute bad? Like, what was the, what was it exactly, like 30 minutes? I did not keep track of when you left. Also, did anyone tell me about the audio? Is the audio okay? One slightly little person tell me if the audio is okay, por favor. You can tell me it's bad. I would love to know if it's bad so that I can fix it. It sounds good? Okay, thank you. Hot as balls, though? I hate being hot. Seriously, being hot is like the worst thing in the world. It's fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I am not a slut. Coming through the mod trapdoor. Whoa! I'm just gonna let go and go next. I don't think this team wants to. That's right. We just go next. We go next. GG's. And it sucks because I never get to go against Vecnas, but it's alright. GG's, gamers. GG's. We go next. Yeah, sorry that my my PC lags whenever I load into a DBD game. It's only since its most recent update. It's a tad low. Should I raise it, guys? Should I raise the audio? Alright, I raised it up like a smidge. A schmidgen. Without Meg and Tom. And you know what? You're actually right! Only a smidge? Cool. Thank you. I just got a lot of RX cells. It says sushi. RXL's gift. Why is it sushi? What's up, Haku? Haku, happy weekend. She's the Meg to my Thomas. That is so cute. Yeah. I think it's for probably Jason, right? It's probably for like the Jason chapters coming out. Or the anniversary, but holy, I'm rich in RXLs. Holy shite. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, then, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't say shit then. Really? That is so funny, Tom. I love this, like, little insider info. Thank you. Oh, back in my day. I feel very confident in this because we have an Ellen, we have an Ace, and we have someone named Toph. So, I'm very, very confident in this group. You know what? I'm so confident. I'm gonna bring a bound envelope. Panda Pants, I bet it was. Pig was Finland? That's so funny. I love that. That's adorable. Haku, did I give you forehead kissy? Mwah. That is so cool. So Jason is sushi, yeah, because oh, I can't show you the messages. It said sushi, RXL gift, but I can't show it on stream anymore. So I'm just kidding. I won't get in trouble, but the code word is very funny. Entire steak, one skewered, 1 ear of sweet corn, nothing else. That sounds amazing. No, they won't care. Unless I post on TikTok, then they will. Yikes! People got so pissed at me. Not Dead by Daylight, but just like Dead by Daylight player plebs. No, because if it was a secret, they wouldn't just give it to us, like, in a message like that. But it was a whole thing when, what was it, when Stranger Things came out? And everyone, it had, like, 300,000 views. I had a lime cherry margarita. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. I'm a big steak enjoyer. I did almost get a burger at that restaurant today, but if you're at a Greek restaurant, you're gonna eat a gyro. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Showtime.
Was ketchup and mustard. Oh. Alright, let me know if the game audio is better, worse, or about the same. Steak is the best. I'm a big steak enjoyer. I love me some steak. Oops. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Huh. I wonder who it is. Oh, man. Well, I'm not gonna be over there. You enjoy your Wethgerthith. Let's go bottom main, yeah? That's really cool. I think that's so neat. But seriously, thank you for that insider info. Oh, you're covered up too, aren't you? I don't know. Oh, here. I'll do this. I'll tickle this pickle. Medium rare. Like a normal person is crazy. Oh, hey. My generator's uncovered. Yippee. Now watch for pain resonance. Watch Bruce. Bruce, watch for pain res. Bruce! Bruce! Good boy. Look at him. Oh. Oh, he got off because it was close to his suck. Okay. Well, so I won't know. What's up, Capricorn? Alice. Thank you for... Wait, hold on. Capricorn. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Alice, thank you for the 3 stream streak. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right, Tom? Really? What would you prefer to cook? Your steaks. Alice, mwah. Thank you for your 306 forehead kissy. What the fudge? Oh my god, that is such a cute emote. Lyrical! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I don't know why my microphone was so high. Oh, that's what you most prefer to cook it as? I want my medium well. I'm not gonna say how I like my stuff cooked, 'cause I don't wanna get judged. I'm gonna die! 306 kissies! Wait, did you see what Space Panda sent me? So they sent me like my usual monthly stuff, but they sent me 5 of these Delta 9 lollipops that are 20 milligrams each. 20 milligrams of Delta 9 each. And, well, I requested it, to be fair. They just, like, sent it to me willy-nilly. I did ask for it. So, thank you, Space Panda. But I'm, like, I'm scared to try it, because I'm gonna get, like, high as fuck. You do medium rare. Practically burnt? Ugh. Oh, I'm an idiot. The gen was right there, and I was, like, not looking. Good thing I don't eat candy. It's, I'm very excited. Rare. Oh, Destiny. I feel so same. Yeah, I do rare. I know, I'm weird. Blue steak. What's a blue steak? Depends, Lapis. If I had to choose one, I'd say Delta 9. But Delta 8 for me personally, because everyone's different. Everyone's different. Delta 8 for me makes me like fall asleep better. Practically raw. Got another one, boys. And then Delta 9 helps me, oh shit, with my, silly, goofy goober energy. Like, it basically, like, calms the tism and anxiety, my Delta 9. So I really like the way Delta 9 makes me, feel when I, like, want to be conscious. And if I want to be unconscious, I'll do Delta 8. I know, I don't really have a pinned message, so. You're in rare form. That's such a fun sentence, by the way. You're in a rare form. I love that. Promise. You know what, Destiny? I like that. I'd eat the shit out of that. Really, Leon's nose? Good to know. What about you, Lapis? What about you guys? What do you guys prefer, Delta 8 or Delta 9? If you have a preference, or if you... Yeah, if you have a preference. If me and Ellen finish these gens, we'll be down to no gens left. I can go by the door. Nice. There's no way out. I might see if he's gonna check Oh, actually, he might just come right here. Or might go right there. I'm gonna do the door. That's fair, Destiny. Totally fair. Oh, that's okay. That's fair, Mira. Yeah. I forgot what I put in where I put the bottle. Oh, you gotta find it. Delta 67. Period. That's not a perfect 99, but I'll take it. I do have overcome, and he went to the other door, so we're good. This is free. Let's go. Oh, here. We'll heal. Yeah. Because I could take a hit for Ellen. Ellen Ripples. Okay, nice. They're going for the door. Cool, cool, cool. Perfect. Oh, I tried to stun him. Oh, and then oh man, look at me. Oh man. I fucked up everything. Oh, actually, this is good. This is actually working out well. Whoa! Holy shit! He did the theme chat! Holy! Wait, Wesker, chill on it. Wait, Wesker. I wonder if they got her up. Oh, they did. That was crazy. You could tell that he was trying to do that with the Ellen too. You could tell he was trying to do that with her. Should I go to the door? Should I open the door? Ooh, I'm not opening the door. I am not opening the door. If I see this mastermind thrust the hood of the car one more time! You know that Ellen's pissed at me, right? Because I took away her palette, and I didn't get in time for the hit either. You know she's pissed at me. It's deodorant. So it's a joke that you call it deodorant, but you see the little squigglies around Ace Ventura, Ace's name. That's Wesker's power. If he uses his like his power on you, and you get like a 4% hindered.
I'm glad you found me.
And it'll go away if you spray it. You get a 4% hindered if you get like fully goobered. Oh, you should have told me because now I need it. I told you this game was gonna be goated. I was the weak link though. What's up, Cake? Is it disinfectant? Deodorant. Definitely deodorant. GG's. GG's. Yeah, that Toph was goated. Ellen was goated. Ace was goated. Nice. GG's. Bringing a cake offering? Before the anniversary? I'm saving my cakes and everything for the anniversary. Oh, Panda Pants, that's good to know. Wow. Love that. You said antibiotic soaps. What are they, $20 for a sliver of soap? I'm joking. Cat! Oh, for Survivor or Killer Cake. Oh, really? No way, Panda Pants. Just that easy, huh? Just that easy. Look at this Vittorio skin. What the fudge? I want to play a different person. I've played V for the past 2.5 Dead by Daylight streams, which collectively is like an hour of gameplay because, you know, whatever. But ooh, who should I play? Maybe bring Gabriel back. Hattie. Elodie, Jane, Alessa. No, wait, you've never played Killer ever? Maybe we could do some Alessa. Pocket sauce. Ew. That sounds uncomfortable. Hi, monkey. Guys, I really want to make that Butterfree poster. Puzzle. That's so interesting, Panda Pants. That's so cool. Oh, is it reset like tonight? Am I crazy? Is rank reset tonight? Pit of shame! 13th every month. Okay, so tomorrow. Tomorrow morning? Jail. Tomorrow. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, interesting. See, I have hyperhidrosis, so I have the opposite problem. It's a hereditary thing. Hello, love. Oh, pocket pussy just got grabbed. Can I do this gen with you? Do you mind? Oh, we'll split. We'll split. I just wanted to have a friend. Ah, here we go. Shut the fuck up, Panda Pants. I'm gonna fan you. Oh, well, happy birthday to your niece's boyfriend. That's cute. You guys doing a party? Oh my god, it's Space System. Jesus fudge. Hello, lovely. Oh, it was Derpy! Derpy, what the fudge? Thanks for my daily dose of dicks, homies. Everyone go tell Derpface how hot and tall and talented and handsome he is. Ah, how are you doing? Are you streaming tonight? A shout out to everyone who's not going to the DBD party. God? Ah! I didn't know if he saw me! That's the second jump scare that I've seen. Yay! Sounds like it's mad cow disease, more like mad bear disease. Ayo!
Get me out of here.
Imagine being stuck in Montreal. Shut up. I love the big old like painting that they did for DBD. I'm gonna follow this Cheryl. This Cheryl seems like she knows what she's doing. Yeah. Wait, what is mad bear disease? Oh, is bear because like that's like a gay thing? Bear. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Not the bears. Guys, if I was a guy, do you think I'd be a bear or a twink or a twunk? What kind of gay guy do you think I'd be? So I would definitely be... Oh no, I wouldn't be gay. Because women exist. Well, no, they're being sold to Indiana, aren't they? So it's not going to be the Chicago Bears, it's going to be the Indiana Bears. An otter? What the fuck is an otter? That sounds really cute, though. A himbo? Yay! Sorry. I have no clue. What would I be? Derpy? Mwah. Think of the forehead kiss. The otter's a hairy, skinny man. You've seen me, right? Shinobi! Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. Lightly smack it. I don't want to be a hairy, skinny man. No offense to any skinny men in chat, but skinny men are not my type. Give me a dad bod. You know what I'm saying? Himbo. Men are also not my type. Ugh, yeah, ew. Hey! 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 I was working on that. I was working really hard on that. I was doing really well. Dad bod summer. No way! Maybe everyone should go follow Dirtface and go check out his new daily redeem. Can someone please clip that? Can someone just like, I don't know, I can't, Mark, I gotta marker, don't clip that, don't clip, I know what I gotta do. That is the, Tom, I need you, I'm not answering anybody else in chat right now. Like, nobody else in chat gets to get acknowledged because that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, the Gen blew, and I go, hey, 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 because I'm yelling at the Oni. And Tom goes, can you stop screaming? I'm trying to learn the alphabet because I'm saying, hey! And it sounds like A. I'm sorry that I had to explain it, but I need you guys to understand how funny that was. Like, that was, like, so good. I hate you. Hi, I'm Dadbod. Hi, Dadbod. I like curvy women. I just like women. I'm an equal opportunity women enjoyer. Men are and aren't my type, and that's fun, so, oh. Oh no! Rosaria! Rosaria, hugs. First of all, I hope you're doing well besides today. Sorry. I hope you're doing alright. But big hugs for you. If you don't want the hug, you can doubly give it to the next person. I'm sorry to hear about the anxiety, though. Tom is funnier than the streamer, which is why you guys should go follow him. Because Tom is the best streamer ever. Hello, my love. Would you like me to rub your bum? It's true, Tom. I set you up, and you slam me down. Enjoy your lurky turkeys. Enjoy your stream tonight, Derpy. Guys, what would you think if Derpy and I played Overwatch sometime? Would that be fun? Would you guys watch that? I'd watch that. See, that's how I feel about men. But, like, I don't know. Something about skinny men just, like, really turned me off. Also, no offense if you're a skinny man. You're just not my type. I don't know. Like, give me... Like, I don't even want, like, super muscular. But, like, husky? Is that the word? You do, and I really appreciate that, Leon's phones, because I don't have notifications on, so you're my notification. Good evening, Duncan. Good evening. Ah! Thank you for the forehead kiss. Oh, sorry, love. Oh, my almost let's go skill check. Oh my god, that'd be fun. I want to play Overwatch with Derpy. Oh, really? And my neighbor can kick rocks. Yeah, fuck your neighbor. Not really. I mean, unless you guys really want to. Oh no. Guys, this Oni is so good. I don't think Husky's offensive. I don't think it is, right? I don't think Husky's offensive. Is there speculation that Husky's offensive? Oh, am I supposed to heal you? Oh, 999 you? My bad. I'm a streamer. I was not paying attention. Women. Do you really? Okay. No, Cake, I'm sorry. Oh, no. Shinobi, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hugs. Hugs for you and everyone else in chat who needs them. And you guys, you know what? You guys don't get a double and get the next person. I'm just gonna give you 2. Just 2 right off the bat. That's not from the same streamer, is it? Those are so cute. I love those emotes. I'm telling Mishka. Mishka! Panda Pad says you're loud and offensive. Separate streamers, they're both very cute emotes. Oh, really? I just don't have any notifications on my phone. Mishka's not loud. Mishka's a good girl. How's your fish, by the way? Oh, Trinity! I totally missed your redemption. I'm so sorry. Ah! Thank you for the forehead kiss. I'm so sorry. I'm just like a little Gen bitch right now. Are you gonna come and for your slug or for me? I don't think we're gonna make it, love bug. I'm gonna let him overcome me, and then I'll run away. Cool. Cool. Okay. Oh, okay. Yippee! Trinity, I hope you're doing very well. Happy weekend. Still alive! Wait, you had 45 what? Oh, got him! Holy forehead kisses? Wait. What? I'm sorry. Notice? Oh! Oh! Sorry, I forgot. I'm thinking. And thinking takes all of the power of my one brain cell that I have, so... Yeah, sorry. Don't mind me, just doing my gens. Yeah, I can't... I'll get, like, some... Like, I have, like, email notifications. And that's it. But I don't get notifications for anything else. I gotta turn them off. I check my apps for the most part. I just... If I had my notifications on, it would just be, like, a mess, you know? My phone would just be going off all the time. It'd be so annoying. Come on, Ralph. Juice! Juice, Ralph! Juice! I know what's great about being the last person alive, though, if they get Ralph, I'll get Maury, hopefully. Oh, Ralph, no! Oh, they're gonna come for me, right? Yeah, they gotta. They're gonna see my Orbeez. Oh, they saw me. You have conviction, right? Whoa, shit! Damn, him getting stuck got in his favor. Alright, it's right. Go hook the other guy. No! Damn it! So now I don't get to use my conviction and I don't get Moried. Poo. Poo. Oh, really? Oh my god. Yeah. That would drive me crazy. It really would. Just having like it ping, 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 ping. It would drive me absolutely nuts. You get hatched is so funny. I love your optimism. Who am I gonna play? Diggy, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Am I gonna do Heavy? Oh, I was gonna do Alessa. What am I? Do I have any good add-ons? I have like nothing for Alessa. Okay, well, who do I want to play that I actually have add-ons and offerings for? Gabriella. I kind of want to do the same build that I had though. Conviction, Bond. I don't remember the rest. Hold on. Chill. Conviction, Bond, Overcome, and Soul Guard. Oh, we had a juicy, well, it was a couple days ago where we had a juicy Conviction Soul Guard play, didn't we? Oh, escapes that shouldn't have happened. Soul Guard. And come for Overcome. Oh, shoot. Add now. No, add in game. Do an absolute mommy. Okay, so Gabriel. Oh, and go enjoy your D&D. Oh, by the way, there's going to be D&D tomorrow. I'm playing D&D tomorrow, so stream will start like 7:05 p.m. tomorrow, or 7:10 tomorrow. So it'll be a few minutes late to stream, is what I'm saying. I was curious because I am all about blood points, and I usually always hook the last person. Turns out I'm valid to do so. Oh, you get more for hooking instead of Maureen? Do you get more for hooking instead of Maureen, Tom? Please tell me if that's true or not. No way! Oh, if they're on Death Hook. So if they're on none or first hook, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen to another if you Mori or hook them. But if they're on Death Hook, that's so interesting. That's so good to know, especially for like blood point goblins. All right, what add-ons? Or not? I'm so sorry. What add-ons? What wolfrains? Oh, I do have some coconut scream pie for him. I don't know what to bring for you. Should I just bring luck? No, we'll bring luck. We'll bring some salty lips. That was weird. Sorry. I have 50 green beams? Sure. We love some salty lips. Is that another add-on or offering? The tin of peeled eyes. Guys, I'm so happy with the cards that we pulled today. These are the two noteworthy ones. Like, these are such cool cards. I'm so tickled pink with these cards. I'm so happy with them. So cute. Oh, yeah, sleeves! Go! Diggy, diggy hole. Oh, that's a right panda pants. We opened up, a Pokemon Day box and a Mega Kangaskhan box. So, 4 decks of cards, Pokemon cards? Or of other cards? Like MTG? Because I think Marvel MTG just, got released, didn't it? I know some One Piece stuff got restocked last night. Game, chill. Chill! I hate this map. Oh, it's a knight! Yikes! No way! That's unfortunate. She's running. Hex Undying, by the way. Woo! I'm scared. Sorry, I got scared. I outlasted the hunt. Yippee. Alright, well, I kind of want to, like, go get totems, right? Oh, visuals on a totem. Okay. Well, that'll be the Undying, right? Oh, I love that Piplup emote. Oh, Panda Pants. I'm sorry you had a really bad week. But, you're so sweet, Panda Pants. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's so sweet. Or for including me in, like, the good vibes. That's so sweet of you. Unless you're watching someone else and you're just typing that in my stream, which I get. Like, I get it. A Pokemon card? Yeah! We're opening up some card packs. Hi, Eclipse! Of this one pink gremlin. Is that the decks that you were getting of? Man advance! That makes me so happy. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we get to be included in that. Oh, you guys should show me all your Pokemon emotes you guys have. Okay, maybe not all of them, because there might be a lot of them, eh? There might be quite a few of them, eh? Oh, okay. Alright. I'll take that from you. Alright. Alright, Lori. I will remember this, though. I'm joking. I'm joking. I hope I get the unhook, because then I can get this guard off of me. Hello? Hey, remember that Lori? Remember that Lori put that pallet right in front of me after I went to go take a hug for her? Oh yeah, Chandelier! I see a Chandelier emo. Eclipse, I hope you're doing so good. Happy weekend. Ooh, and now we'll get, oh yeah. Oh, Pixelor, yeah! Oh, you know what? If you guys used all the Pokemon emotes, I just realized you'd have like a million of them because I have like 50 million Pokemon emotes. Yikes! I don't really know the totem spawns in this map, I'm not gonna lie. It is a shame though that I got off that gen because that gen's probably back on zero. Probably back on zero. So I think we're gonna prioritize getting the totems. I'll take my time making my way to the lorry. Oh, and Pentimento? Shit! We're fucked. Alright. I don't know where that guy cleansed that totem, though. I mean, I guess I'll just get on this gen, but... Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. With Pentimento and Ruin, it's not worth it. Diggy diggy hole. Pokemon and Pride. That's one of my favorite parts about being in the Pride guild is the Discord has some of the cutest Pride emotes. Oh, they're so cute. Oh man, I want to cleanse that totem just because I can, but I want to take this. Gimme. Give it to me! Alright, he's leaving. I wanted to take it so that I can instantly unhook and then lose it, but it's alright. What were we saying? Oh my god, Yas too? I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, the Pride emotes! Yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry, guys. Eclipsed! They were the forehead kissing. Yeah, the emotes are so cute in the Discord. A totem? Didn't I like just run past this earlier? Yikes. It is the Pentimenti. So I think after this, Ruin will be gone, right? Oh, not Ruin, but Pentimento and Ruin. But then we'll have to Pentimento the other one, right? Holy totems, Batman! So he has 3 hook stages, excuse me. And we have no gens done. And probably, yeah, I think the only gen progress we have is what Quan Tae-young is on. Alright, we should be good now. No, we still have a hex up. What the fudge is up? Okay. That alien guy's on the other totem. Holy! This game is rough. Rough. You think it's Thrill too? KMS. I'm joking. Hello, love. Oh. Damn. So you think just full hex build? Full hex build and Pentimento? That one that I got was the Pentimento. So that one's done for forever, which is nice. Oh, really? I didn't even notice that. I don't know how to read. 33 years? Damn! I can't even count that high. Okay, we'll ruin his at least. Nerd! Thank you for the 7 stream streak Eclipse. Thank you so much. More than 70 Pride emotes? I won't be putting all of them in chat. Oh, you can do your favorites. Do your favorites. I do want to commission some more emotes. Because it's been a lot of fucking years since I've commissioned emotes, but we shall see. We shall see. Guys, we might get our first gen done! Yippee! Yeah, I'll go. Whatever. Oh. did you get there? Oh, thank God he can't move hard or vertically. Oh, there's no pallet here, fuck! Yikes! Damn it. Ooh, I love the one with the wings. Oh, I like the second and the third one, like the rainbow blobs that are hugging each other. Those are so cute. Yeah, I like those a lot. 2 gens done. Ooh wait. Okay, now I'm cold. I don't need this anymore. I don't need you anymore. Fair. Those are Kirby? They're not, but it's okay. Whoa! I didn't mean to unhook. They look like Kirby, but I don't think that's Kirby. Like, not like the actual IP. Let me try to do a Kirby voice. Hi! Oh, that was pretty good, right? I love Kirby. I used to play the Game Boy Advance games a lot. Was it like Kirby, like Dreamland or something? No, they're not Kirby. I can see that they look like Kirby. But I think they're just like IP-less blob. For like copyright reasons. Dicky dicky hole. Dicky dicky hole. Yeah. You enjoy your Temu Kirby. I'll run him to where the gen's already done. Oh, fuck me. Oh. Alright, so are there any pallets left in this map? Any? Any wood? Oh. Hello, Pentimento. I found it. Guys, if you let me live, I will do the Pentimento. You have to let me live. I think the knight is right behind me. Ah! He's right in front of me! That's right. I can take a hook stage. Oop. Nice, nice, nice. We're actually doing pretty well, considering this guy had a full hex build with Pentimento, and on this bitch-ass map. I hate this map so much. I feel like we're actually doing really well. Why does he make those noises? Oh, the guy chasing me? The you know, he's really excited to be here. I wonder if it's like, I think it's interesting to like put a guard right by the hook, because like if someone gets guarded, they can just unhook the person, and then they like lose the guard. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh. I really want to do the Pentimento. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Oh, he has will make it. I see. Okay. I see. That's why he's hoovering. He sounds really excited to be here. Good. Alright, rub my bum. You, rub. Yeah, rub. 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 I know you have will make it. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, Quante Young. Thank you. I'll go to this side because if he goes that way, he'll chase him. But if it goes this way, he'll chase me. And either way, we're getting the unhook. Whoop! Oh, fuck. Yeah, I found some wood. Oh, that took no time at all. Damn. He spotted a Gabriel in a suspicious... an auspicious outfit or a suspicious outfit? I have a fantastic outfit. Thank you very much. He is very handsome to me. Honestly, I think we did super well. Considering this guy's build. I think we did really well. I'll take it. Whatever floats your boat. That's funny. GG's. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours and 20 minutes. I wish I had some more pictures emotes. I'm joking. I need some pride emotes. I think I have like the 7TV emotes, but I don't think I have any like actual pride emotes. Into combat tomorrow session. Aren't we just before combat, or am I crazy? Well, we did a lot of yapping last session, so I think we're gonna be in combat in this session, right? Oh no. Maybe we do one more game, guys. What do you think? Je suis fatigué. Was there anything good in the store? Ooh, yeah, yeah. Holy diver. Ooh, you know what? I think we should get the Huntress mommy skin. What do you guys think? I'm also fat and gay. You know what? So I learned how to say I am tired in French in 6th grade. 7th grade. In 7th grade. I was in 6th or 7th grade. And it was 7th grade. Je suis fatigué. And boy howdy, did we have so much fun as whatever age we were, 13 years old, saying, oh, I'm fat and gay. Turns out it's true. As I grew up. I'm joking. That's funny. Oh, I did never get this ace outfit, but that's okay. That's okay. Alright. You know who we haven't played in a while? Sableye.
This all feels very familiar.
I'll do that build. Bring some slutty lips. Anubis! Mwah! Think of the forehead kissy. Je suis fatigué. Oui. Did you do it recently? Because I noticed that your name was different. Justice for Sable? I agree. I agree. Although I probably shouldn't play Sable because I probably attribute to the Sable hate, considering I'm not very good at this game. But it's alright. We have an Ada Wong and a Rebecca Chambers, both on Anon. And I am afraid I am gonna get yelled at. That's okay. I'm gonna protect them. I have Sabo, background player, flashbang, and any means necessary. We'll be fine. And a Sabo box. We'll be fine. Non-binary. Oh yeah, that's the one. Okay, that's the one I saw. Okay. Drawing tablet. Let's go. Oh, period. This is the tablet that you're like, you don't know what to do with it, but you're just happy to have it, right? Yeah. Yeah, Tom. Yeah. Damn. Damned if you do. Damned if you do. Hey. There was a shirt of that word too, of the non-binosaurus. It's a really cute name. I like it, Eclipse. I'm glad you got your tablet. I bought a tablet back in the day, and I did draw some really cute stickers for Etsy. All those Pokemon stickers and like the Game Boy stickers that I have, I drew them on my tablet. But I don't know. I really wanted to learn Procreate, and I really thought I was going to do it, but. Are you use Procreate? What are you going to use for it, Jade? Is there a bi dino? Any dino can be bi if you try hard enough. Hi, Midnight! Hi, little girl. Just killer things. Oh, man. I get scared with endgame chat. Oh, look, they're gay! Yay! I'm scared. Oh. Is it the Karasu? No way. Alright, so the last time I played against the Karasu, she DC'd. So I didn't get a chance to actually play against her. Let's see if we can play against her. Oh, blood flavor. Alright, well, I'm incentivized to get gens now. Ooh. Oh, let's any means necessary this, by the way. Yeah, I probably could have saboed that, but I think it's okay if I don't. I really wanted that palette. So this is the aforementioned mushrooms, right? Oh, sorry, I don't want to be right by where you're doing the gen. Whoa. She just spitting stuff. She just spitting. I spit hot fire. Whoa. So she like the unknown or something? What the fudge? Oh, she ran that way. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Ooh, girl got me. Girl, you're so gross. Stop! You're so fast! Stop! Why you come fast? Whoa, oh my god. I am so scared right now. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have juked it. I'm stupid. A Samsung tablet. Wow. Why you come fast? Damn. Damn. Look at the way she's like choking me. That is so gross. That is. Ugh. That's disgusting. That's gross. That's so cool though. It's not an Apple tablet? Oh, I think mine was an Apple. I think. I don't know. I don't even know where mine is. I bought it in like 2019? Maybe? 2018? This is a Krasu. K-R-A-S-U-E? I think? Krasu. Hi, Jojo. Thanks, Rebecca. Love you. She'll never see me. She's not me. Oh god! What did I do? What did I do? Oh shitables. Damn. Damn. I know there's no pallet there. Oh, yeah. Damn. She caught me with my pants down, I'm not gonna lie. I shouldn't have hid there. I just thought it was gonna be funny because I thought she would chase the Rebecca. But I shouldn't have hid there. Love the outfit. Oh, thanks! I think it's super cute. Sable has some really good guest best. I love the dark hair for her. Oh, good LG. Hey, you know what? Who's this killer? The Krasu. Krasu. Yeah, this is super cute. Hey, at least she hasn't. The Krasu hasn't DC'd yet. Hi, Rebecca. Me again. I know. I'm back on the hook. I'm back in the fucking house, Martha. All right, I won't die. I promise. Let me at least try to get my use out of my build because I haven't touched a Gen 1, so I don't have any flashbang juice. Promise? No. I can't do anything there. Oh, we still also. There we go. I got some gen progress. You're welcome. She still has Oh, she's dead. Holy shit. She still has blood flavor up. It's like, do I do the gen or do I do the... What the heck? Maximus! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. Anubis? Hello? Thank you for giving us up to Lawyer, by the way. What the fudge? Thank you so much. Lawyer, by the way. Enjoy your 90? Count him. Your 90 emotes, your ad-free view, and your sub badge. Oh, are you talking about my shirt? Oh, thank you. I got it from Shein. Hey guys, I think I found the totem. Thank you for giving the mods love. You are so sweet, Anubis. Thank you so much for the sub. That is very sweet of you. Oh, Midnight's here. Hi, Midnight. Nice. Look at me doing things. Bravo Penguin has the red one, and I liked it so much on Bravo Penguin that I got the red version of it too. Yeah, the red one's really fire. I got Yeti. I'll get a little bang action. Alright, Rebecca. I'm cumin. Oops. Am I? Yes. Tom, hell yeah, and you were a huge part of that. A reminder. Thank you. Yeah, oh, I didn't mean to say about that. The mods definitely deserve all their praise, all the love for everything, because the thing is, it's not just stuff that they do during stream. Like, it's not just, like, during stream hours. It is also, like, everything they do behind the scenes. Like, they're always, you know, they're always working. Oops. Go the long way around. Dragon set ablaze! Mwah! Thank you for the forehead kissy. Ooh, I gotta show you the hits we got earlier. Oh, wow! Loki would be very proud, Raven. The Dragon, happy weekend. Yes, please. Oh, hell yeah. So I opened a Pokemon Day box, which was my first time opening it, and I got my Pokemon Day shilling. Very excited. Hi, Ghost Loops! Bye, Ghost Loops. Also, mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. And then I opened a Mega Kangaskhan box. Oh, Shinobi, it was just for the sponsored stream that I was doing. And so if you do the sponsored stream, they put you on the front page. So that's why there was an uptick of viewers yesterday. Because when I stream Minecraft, actually everyone who normally chats in my stream leaves. So I'd rather have people chat with me than have front page, if you know what I mean. Don't act like you know me, Tom. That's funny. We love women in STEM. Oh, I'm leaving. Well. Oh, shitables. Yikes! Oh, that works for her bamboozled. Fun fact. Oh, you know what? I was gonna do that again, where I was gonna, like, fake it, and I didn't fake it again. Why do I keep going to this dead-ass area? Every time. Oh, here we go again. Back in the fucking house, Martha. Damn, I don't know why. That's like fucking terrible. It's actually not bad. It's not bad loot. But oh, someone's getting the Gluck 9000. Thank you. Whoa! I got scared. Oh, thank you, Angel. I mean, I was gonna run the loop, but okay. Sorry, but oh, girl, we have 4 gens left. It's okay. She's so cute. I love her. Yeah, let's go. SEAL team. Oh no. SEAL Team 6! No. Hold on, chill. Oh my god, she's still there! This Rebecca's insane! SEAL Team Rebecca! Look! This Rebecca's like trying to tame her. Aw, I was gonna Sabo hook too. Damn! Alright, so what do I do with these mushies? I'm like supposed to eat them or something? Eat a glowing fungus. Do I have to? Oh. Ew. Ooh. Almost an ad, by the way. Mushrooms! I do love mushrooms. Yo, that Rebecca, she's back! She's back! The Rebecca's back! How did you get out of your hole? Rebecca! Who let you out? I'm scared. Oh, okay, Rebecca, Rebecca! Help me! This Rebecca said, not today, bitch. No, yeah, get her! Rebecca. Holy. Oh, man. This Rebecca's like, I can only do so much for you, Sable. There's only so much I can do for you. I did say I'd do the Gluck 9000. Well, now I gotta bring out the I was gonna say strap on, but I mean, if you want. But, happy Pride. I was gonna say, can I strap stop talking about strap-ons, Pixel! I was gonna say knee pads. Holy Rebecca. Oh my god, that was so funny. I told her, holy Rebecca, my SEAL Team 6. So fun. Alright, do you guys want to see my Pokemon pulls? Okay, so we opened. That's Midnight, by the way. Hey, Midnight! I don't want to pick her up because she doesn't want to be on stream. Alright, so what did we pull? Okay. I guess our pull rate actually wasn't really that great. But we got some really cool cards. So these are the promo cards. So this is from the Pokemon Day box. So cute. And this is from the Mega Kangaskhan box. So cute. And it also came with a very large 3D card too. Yay! We do get a little bit of midnight action here. My little Goyle. She's my little Goyle. I love her so much. She might be my favorite, but don't tell anybody. And we also got a Yan Mega EX, who I think I have already, but I'm not sure. And then we also got this Helioptile. Tag yourselves. I'm this one right here. The Claw. So that's a super cool card. And then we also got this Toxtricity. So, yeah. Like, not a great pull rate, but really dope card. So, I'll take it. I'm the one looking away. I'm the one not even on the card. Holy Diver! Alright. Short stream, but you guys know how it is. I streamed today, so you guys should be very proud of me. Alright. Oh! Yeah, okay. Cool, okay. Cool. Gotta get away! Oh, don't be nice to me, Rootsy. I'll think you're mad at me. I'm joking. I'm joking. Soul Survivor! Sorry, I love this song. Do you guys want to wait Dream Warrior? We haven't rated Dream Warrior in like 84 years. And he's celebrating 9 years of streaming. I think we should go send him some love. What do you guys think? We'll find the new stink. See, that's so much better. Guys, let's go raid Dream Warrior. What do you guys think? Bet? Bet. I will be live tomorrow after Dungeons and Dragons, but stream will be... I just saw what the message was. Stream will be a little bit later than normal. Because, Dungeons and Dragons ends at, like, at 7. No. Yeah, at 7. So, I'll be live at, like, 7:10 or something. I would double. 8. Well, you're in Eastern time. But yeah, I hope you guys have the best night ever. Thank you guys so much for being here and letting me feel my feelings. And no, you're not. Don't talk about my friend that way. Thank you for letting me feel my feelings. And you know, appreciate you guys very much. Also, make sure you guys tell the mods how hot and tall and talented and handsome they are. We love them very much. Devil, I hope you feel better, by the way. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna send love to Dream Warrior for his 9-year stream anniversary. Very dope. Yeah, I hope you guys have the best night ever. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye! I'm actually getting, like, surround sound in my headset. Okay. I don't know how, but I hurt my shoulder. Oh my god. See, this would have got me back.